Hi guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we'll be covering my games from Day 2 of the Cat's Tail Gathering Tournament 2024 Season 4. So without further ado, let's hop right into our first game. Now in the first game, I'm going up against Yunjin here, but with a slight twist. Usually, Yunjin only works in the Zhongli, Seahorse and Yunjin deck, but here they've replaced Zhongli with Hu Tao, which is quite the unique variation. I don't think it's better because with Zhongli you get Woven, which is really good with Yunjin, and with Hu Tao you kind of get nothing. I mean, Hu Tao is technically a better anchor than Zhongli is, but really Yunjin is the real anchor in this deck, so what's the point? Anyway, if you haven't watched my previous videos already on the Cat's Tail Gathering tournament, I highly suggest you check them out first. But anyway, here in Day 2, first game against Yunjin, and they get Wagner double Liban first round. And the moment I saw 2 Libans, I was like, yeah, I'm dead, aren't I? Because they're going to have 12 dice next round and a free Primordial Jade Wing Spear. What the hell am I supposed to do against that? The only thing I can do is really just go for my usual combo, which is Furina's skill plus Kave's skill. Also, I managed to get both of their talents somehow, but that doesn't really help anyway because their talents are kind of useless in this deck. Okay, Furina's is actually not bad, but other than that, nah. Like, they're okay, but they barely help. Also, the Seahorse barely survives thanks to its Fontainebleau pulse and whatnot. And now they send out Yunjin. I take this opportunity to hit Yunjin and deal as much damage as I can. But of course now they're just going to keep switching around and wait for me to run out of dice before they switch back to Yunjin and just sweep me. And here, now that they see that I only have 3 dice left, and they know my deck for sure. They know I just have a bunch of useless action cards in my deck that just all cost 3 dice. Now they're gonna switch to Yunjin. But I have no idea why they did it with an LITM. Now they equip their stuff and use their elemental skill. Because they think they're safe, like I only have 3 dice. The most I can do is just hit with Kave, which is not enough to kill Yunjin. Or maybe plunging strike to Furina, which again doesn't kill Yunjin. But they kind of forgot that Legend of Vanessa exists. I mean, maybe they don't even know, who knows. So anyway, I was lucky to have enough to have Legend of Vanessa in my deck. So I just used that, get my extra die, switch to Narwhal. And now I just take out Yunjin. And even if I didn't get to take out Yunjin here, I would have used my Arcane card to remove 1 energy. And with so little dice left, perhaps I would be able to survive their Yunjin sweep. But since they just let me take out Yunjin, I mean, I'll take it. This is much better for me. And from here on out, it's a pretty simple win. They even gave me the Seahorse for free for some reason. So that was very nice of them. Thankfully my dice don't suck here because I only have 2 cards left to tune. I just switched to Kave, it's not like they can take him out. Now they equip a bunch of stuff here, and a normal attack deals 5 damage, which is absurd. But that's perfectly fine, I just use my burst. Out come the Dendro cores and the burst scans. And if they kill Kave here, my Narwhal or even Furina can finish her off. And that's GG.
I never accomplished.
Now for our second game, we are going up against the exact same deck as ours. And this time it's actually the exact same deck. Like, they're not using the version with Kusava and Mausoleum. It's literally the same deck. Maybe some of the 3 dice cost cards are different, but that actually doesn't matter at all. The difference is, they start on Furina, whereas I start on the Narwhal. And if you have watched my previous video, which is just the Cat's Tail Gathering Tournament Day 1, you'll know that I start on the Narwhal because I want to switch around even more. I want to switch to Furina and then to Kave. And by doing this, I ensure that I end my round last, giving me a guaranteed bloom. Whereas here, they're starting on Furina first, and they're going to switch to Kave straight away. So now I use Furina's elemental skill, and they use their Kabe's elemental skill, which applies Dendro on Furina. And what do? I just switch off of her, and now they have no bloom for round 1. Now they are forced to end their round first, before my Kabe even attacks. But, not really, but like, they're forced to stay on Furina here, who get bloomed for sure. So that's the difference. And for some reason they decided to use Day of Resistance on Furina to let her survive this onslaught, I guess. The thing is, Furina's main purpose in this deck is just to summon Saloon members, which they have already done, and tank damage. So what's the point in keeping her alive? In fact, if she died here, it would be great for them because they would have gotten a free switch to Kabe, who could have bloomed my Kabe instantly. But nope, here they are forced to switch slowly, and now their Kabe has to eat a whole attack from my Kabe, and this just hurts. In fact, now their Kabe is going to be in one-shot range of my burst, so they can't stay on Kabe. Except they did, because, I don't know, maybe they thought they could kill me here. But I actually survive on 1 HP because that's how damage works. And they just concede. So, GG. Now going into the third game, we're going up against this guy who's using Lyney, Station and Sayu. And I actually jumped out of my chair when I saw this deck because I was like, what? How could anyone possibly not be using either my deck or the Mona variant? Or just Consecrated Bees. Because if you don't use either of these two decks, or maybe Yunjin, and have like a select few others, you just lose instantly. And Lyney Station, nah, you're gone. It's just a free win. Because it just can't keep up with the meta decks of the day. So anyway, they start on Lyney, use Prop Arrow. They play like it's version 4.6, but it's version 4.7 now. Say hello to Kabe. So they just deal all the damage to Furina, but I don't mind. Because like I said, one of Furina's main purposes is just to tank damage, which he has done very well here. And an amazing way to let their station survive that our round 1 bloom, they just eat Mushroom Pizza, which is actually pretty good. It's actually a pretty good play. And there's nothing I could have done about it. But anyway, it's just a Mushroom Pizza, it won't save them from Kabe. Our Architect is too strong. So now Station is in one-shot range, and here they actually just choose to overload my Kabe anyway, just take the damage while they can, I guess. And of course I finished off the Station right away. Station's a pretty big threat, letting me get rid of it is, I mean, I'll definitely take it. Now Furina should die to Lyney, and unlike the previous guy I faced, I let Furina die here so that I get a free switch to whoever I want. And still, since I still have 6 dice, I just go for Kabe's skill followed by his burst. And just take all my free damage. So just go for my burst now.
New ground.
Unfortunately, I had to tune my cards in a way that kinda messed up my Narwhal's max HP, but it's fine. It's not a big deal.
My show mustn't.
At the end of the day, it's the attacks that count. Now we just have a Sayu to deal with. I mean, it's just a Sayu. Anyone could win this. Now if they kill Kabe here, Narwhal will immediately take out Sayu with just 1 elemental skill. They don't take him out, so I do it myself by switching. I just have to switch manually like a peasant. Anyway, just an elemental skill is all it takes, because I still have another burst scan. And that's GG. Now going into our game number 4, this is more like our first real game of the day because we are finally going up against the Consecrated Bees. And I'm very happy to start second because I want my guaranteed blue. I want to end my round last. I do get Kave's elemental skill, his talent here, which is pretty nice. And again, I start on the Narwhal. And once again, they start on their Serpent because they want to draw cards. So okay, we just watch them draw cards now. Use their talents, all that good stuff. And as always, usually they start with something like Strategize first because they want to at least draw one Bone Cruncher before they use the Serpent's elemental skill, because it will allow them to draw one extra card. Which I assume they did. Yeah. I use Legend of Vanessa because I want one extra die so that I can switch to Furina, use her E, switch to Kave, use his E, and then switch back to Furina. If you have watched day 1, my previous video, you see that after we take out the Scorpion here using our round 1 blue, the Serpent gets to come in for free, and its elemental burst more often than not deals 10 damage, taking out my Kave. Although usually I still win from that, but if I can let Kave live, why not? And that's why I use Legend of Vanessa, so I can switch back to Furina here and let Furina take the hit instead. So here the Scorpion will go down thanks to Burst Scan. Now out comes the Serpent, and here I wasn't expecting them to burst at all because, again, why would you burst on a Furina who's completely useless? But they did that, so the moment I saw them burst, I was like, oh, I guess I just won this game. So I just used my talent. Also, yeah, I kind of forgot to use my talent just now, but it's not a big deal. What is a big deal is them wasting their burst on Furina. So now I tuned quite a few cards here because I want more HP on my Narwhal. And I switched to the Narwhal first, hoping they'll switch to their Narwhal, and they actually do. Now I switch back to Kave because I want to apply Dendro on it. So now they're forced to use a Bone Cruncher, which they probably didn't want to. And now they have to switch back to the Serpent, so that they don't give me a free Dendro application. Like a free extra Dendro application. And I did this because I had 2 excess dice anyway, so why not spend it switching back and forth to threaten them. And it paid off, it got them to use an extra Bone Cruncher. Now going to round 3, I'm just gonna let my Kave finish things off. In fact, I won't even have to lift a finger, because he still has 2 burst scans. So the first burst scan is gonna deal damage, and it creates a second Dendro core. So now the moment they use anything, in this case Bone Cruncher, the second one activates and just kills their Narwhal. GG. Now going into our 5th game of the day, we finally get our first real game of the tournament, because this guy was on the leaderboard at the time, so he is pretty good, and I have faced him before, so I know that much. So once again, I start on my Narwhal and they start on their Serpent. Just classic stuff. Unfortunately, my dice weren't as good this time, but 3 is still, like, I guess the expected amount, so all good really, and I have more than enough cards to tune. Once again, they start on Strategize or some kind of draw card. They need their Bone Crunchers first. Now they use their elemental skill. Just the same thing every time. Same for me, same thing every time, switch to Furina. And here they switch to the Narwhal because, unlike my previous opponents, they don't want to let me end my round last. Then give me my guaranteed bloom. Which is why they're switching so many times here. And don't worry about them having 0 dice, because they can still get 1 extra die from Bone Cruncher, which they will do right now to switch off of the Scorpion, so that they don't give me my guaranteed bloom. Also, you might have noticed I didn't use my talent card here, and that's actually because of my poor dice, forcing me to tune so many cards. So I wanted to make sure I have at least an extra card to tune if I need to. I just do not want to get dice of cringe down against a good player. Thankfully my dice were actually pretty decent here, so actually I could have used my talent. I was just scared, man. I use my arcane cards so that they can't use Bone Cruncher followed by a burst straight away, taking out my Kave. Now they just use their elemental skill, threatening to burst again. And see, now here's the thing, by doing that, if I take out their Serpent now, they'll send out the Scorpion, use Bone Crunchers, and use the Scorpion's burst, which also hurts a lot. And if I just switch off to like Furina, then they can use their Bone Cruncher on their 1 HP Serpent and burst. And you might be like, oh, isn't that better? You said Furina's useless, right? You can just let the Serpent waste its burst on Furina. But here's the problem. Scorpion is still alive and it still has 1 energy, so next round they're gonna use this as well. So I really have no choice but to take out the Serpent here. I mean, it's not too bad. I do get to use my burst.
Watch and learn.
I get more burst scans. It's a win in my book. And of course, like I said, they send out the Scorpion. They're gonna use Bone Crunchers and just use the burst. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, they pull out a lot of dice here. Ah, yeah. And with 5 dice left and so many cards, with 5 stacks here as well, it's pretty much guaranteed that they'll get at least another 2 dice to switch to Narwhal and attack. But see, here's the thing. I was kind of counting their dice, as in like, and I kind of miscalculated a bit. I thought they didn't have, I thought all 3 of these were Omni dice. And if all 3 of these are Omni dice, that means that they can't tune 2 cards, get this to 9 stacks, and get an extra die, so that they can have 4 dice, switch to Narwhal, use the skill to kill Kave. And that's because I thought all 3 of these were Omni dice. But I guess I miscalculated, because apparently they can still tune 2 cards and take out my Kave. And once I saw them do this, I knew it was over for me. Not only because Kave's dead, but because this thing has 17 HP. So that's pretty sad. A slight miscalculation on my part, and ultimately it cost me. I guess it is a bit too hard to count whether they have Omni dice or not. Maybe if I had infinite time, then I could do it. Anyway, I start with Legend of Vanessa, get more dice, and then I tune all of my cards instantly to get more HP. And I just use an elemental skill. I was pretty surprised to see them normal attack here, and now here's the thing. I can risk it and go for an elemental, actually not an elemental skill, but rather a normal attack followed by my Narwhal's elemental burst, which would deal a lot of damage and probably win me the game. But what if this last card is a Bone Cruncher? If this last card is a Bone Cruncher, then they get 3 dice, and they can use their Narwhal's elemental skill to take out my Narwhal. Because if I attack, this thing will hit me for another 2 damage, leaving me at 5 HP, and their elemental skill can take out my Narwhal. And if that happens, I'm dead. I never actually checked, but is this a Bone Cruncher? Are you kidding me? It's not a Bone Cruncher. Bro. So basically here, I actually had a chance to win if I just went for it. Normal attack, elemental burst, on the basis that this is not a Bone Cruncher. But with so many Bone Crunchers in their deck, I was kind of like thinking this must be a Bone Cruncher, no? And that's why I switched to Furina instead.
Magnificent!
And pretty sad for me, I guess. I switch back, use the elemental skill so I get 2 energy, and I switch back to Furina again so that, again, my Narwhal doesn't die. Well, that sucks to know that it's not a Bone Cruncher. Feels bad. Now going to the next round. They pull out Adeptus Temptation here, a Bone Cruncher, And now of course they're gonna use their burst. Because Narwhal's burst is just amazingly good, thanks to the summon it gives. At the very least, I can attack twice to remove their summon. But it's not enough, because now here they'll take out my Furina. And by using my own burst, because obviously I have to attack or this thing will kill me, by attacking, I actually give them an extra card which they can use the tune and get an extra 2 dice, giving them the dice to hit me. So whether I attack or I don't attack, I die. So that's GG.